So welcome, our remarkable colleague, Dr. Joan. I so appreciate your consistent leadership and all that you do for so many. And as always at Setsi, we begin all things by acknowledging our creator. We acknowledge the original stewards of the various lands we're on. We acknowledge all our ancestors, all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So, Dr. Joan, can you please introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and share a bit about your remarkable work?
Thank you so much for having me, Victor. It's always good to connect with you, connect with community. So for those of you who are listening, I'm Dr. Joan Samuels-Dennis. I am the founder of the Becoming Institute. We teach a 12-month trauma recovery program, and especially interested in having our Black nurses, Black health professionals, members of the Black community who see themselves as healers and elders and spiritual teachers to come and learn from our institute. Prior to this, I was a psychotherapist. I am still a psychotherapist, but I've kind of given up the practice and moving into the teaching zone. And so have been a trauma recovery specialist for the last 8 years and honing my particular technique. It's called the Becoming Method. Before that, I was a nurse and loved nursing, loved working with the community. And so I'm excited to be here with you today, Victor, and to just talk about all the new stuff that's happening.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for all that context and your incredible background in terms of community development and the amount of healing and trauma that is in so many communities, so many regions on this planet is almost insane. So I give thanks for the contributions that you're making through your new institutes. So my next question, what inspires you about your work? What currently has you curious?
Yeah, what currently has me curious is this one question: how do you heal an entire community, right? And so, we think all the time about individual healing, but a lot of the times we don't think about the ways in which on a communal level, we are traumatized, and on a communal level, the wounds that are created through those traumas, and then on a communal level, what we must do in order to heal. One of the biggest wounds that has been created by the colonization experience, the enslavement experience, the commercialization experience, the capitalism experience, all that has been created is disconnection, disunity, separation. And that has been our biggest challenge amongst others. At a communal level, it is our biggest challenge. So unity for me would be healing. Our ability to envision what our future looks like for our children and to actually manifest that in a way that makes our world look different 30 years from now, 150 years from now. Those are some of the things that are making me really curious at this point in time.
That's beautiful. I know that me and my colleagues often talk about the weights and trauma and pressure of being a generational cure. There's so many generational curses in different families and bloodlines and communities. And when you take on that role of being a generational cure, shifting a paradigm that's been going on in your bloodline for a long time, there's such trauma and pressure associated with that. So once again, I applaud you for your remarkable work. So my next question is, do you have a set of key priorities right now in your work?
Yeah, one of the key priorities is we have a June event, which I would love for you to come to. June 21st to 23rd, we are putting on our first Truth, Forgiveness, and Reconciliation event for the Black community. Now, we originally had planned that for June 7th. We're going to be doing it at the U of T campus in Scarborough. And it just so happens that they shifted us into the date of the June 21st to 23rd. And as it happens, that's National Indigenous Day, I believe. And so I think it's very fitting that the Indigenous peoples, I should say the Aboriginal peoples of Canada, will be going through their own process. And at the same time, as far as I know, it will be our first time to come together as a community to actually speak our truth. That's what day one is all about. The second day, we will be healing together. So I will be using the Becoming Method that I have developed to actually walk every single person through a forgiveness journey, forgiveness of the other. and those who have enslaved us, commercialized us in all the ways that we've been oppressed, and then to turn and then forgive ourselves. On the third day, we'll then be talking about reconciliation. And so what does reconciliation look like? Well, I talked about unity before. I talked about togetherness and connection. And so we are hoping that we reconcile with ourselves, not look outward, but really motivated towards self, motivated towards the Black community, having a reconciliation process. And we actually want to include an activity where the entire group pictures what they want our children's life to be like, and then that out picturing to be blessed, to be prayed over by the elders in our community, blessed by those who are ministers, blessed by those who are truth sayers, blessed by those who are the ones who hold the wisdom in the community, so that whatever it is that we cast as that picture, it will come to fruition in the future.
Shay, that sounds remarkable. Congratulations on such a remarkable opportunity for folks to come together and to build collectively. So once again, I applaud your leadership and the great vision you have for so many. Thank you. So my second last question, what is your ultimate goal? What does success look like and feel like to you?
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, one of my favorite authors, or I shouldn't say many people write about him, but I can't find any of his original works, but when they write about him, he asked this question: what is the one thing I can attach myself to that will have me remembered for generations? And of course, the thing that he did was the Constitution and the enslavement experience brought to an end, constitutionally at least. Because it hasn't ended, but at least he made a mark where every Black person in the United States could say, I am free. So in a very similar vein, I am looking for the thing that will free us as a people from the many forms of oppression that we continue to endure. And so what I am looking to do is liberation of the human spirit. We are all spiritual beings moving through a human journey, but in this human journey, there are so many things that enslave the mind, enslave the spirit, enslave the body. And so the thing that I am looking to build, the thing that I want to be remembered for, is that I actually institute something that then has a lasting impact that frees humanity in all the ways that it needs to be freed at this time.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's a remarkable vision. So my last question, do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action for our listeners and our viewers?
Yeah, I want the listeners to dream with me. I want the listeners to recognize that all that I say is not fairy tale. I've worked very hard over the last 20 years of my life. I've been asking the question, how do I heal individuals? I got the answer. I asked the question, how do I heal a community? Well, I got the answer. I asked the question, how do I free humanity from the trappings of the enslavement experience that we're all experiencing, not just us as Black people, but white people too? And I will have that answer as well. So I want, as everyone is listening to my voice, for you to join me with a silent prayer. I want you to join me with an affirmation. I want you to join me with an ashe and an amen. Whatever it is that you can do to come into agreement with me, I need your power and your goodwill and your good intentions and your good vibrations to come through this very screen at me right now, so that I can be empowered to actually achieve the things that I have just said.
That's a beautiful ritual, and I send you nothing but love and joy. And I'm happy we had this call, or this conversation, because it's been a while. So I send you all that, especially on a day of lots of work. I send you the energy I have left for that beautiful vision.
Victor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we close the way we began this remarkable and beautiful conversation by acknowledging our Creator and giving thanks, by acknowledging our ancestors and the original stewards of the various lands that we're on, by acknowledging all those who toiled without compassion or compensation, by acknowledging all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Thank you so much, Joan, for all that you do and the way you represent us. You represent us well, and you make our ancestors proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Pleasure.